Good morning, everyone. Today we will be seeing third unit, that is, which deals with XML. Till now we have learnt about HTML and JavaScript. Now we are going to see one more technology, that is extensible markup language XML, which is again widely used markup language for representing structured data, as how we are representing an HTML document. Here XML document makes our work much more easier. Why this has been come up is to make the document much more readable, to make it much more structurized and human readable format. In this, it will be this format is in in the way where it is both machine readable as well as human readable format. Okay, that's why we are saying extensible markup language. Again, XML is used for variety of purposes, including data exchange, like configuration files, if at all, if you want to exchange, and different formats, how the way you want to store the data in. Okay, for that purposes we are making use of XML. Okay, we will be seeing a basic syntax of XML and the intro of the XML. When we say XML is again a markup language. We know markup language means which will be making use of tags which is machine readable. Already it is machine understandable language. So it will be using tags to define some elements within a document, and it follows some hierarchical structure with elements nesting within other elements. Okay, like we have seen table nesting tables, like that only. Here, within the element, like list, how we have listed, within the list we have listed the list. Okay, like that, nesting of the elements. Okay, within an element we can nest other element so that it forms a tree like representation, tree like structure will be formed. And we know tags will be used for defining the elements. An element consists of an, and this tags will be consisting of an opening tag and a closing tag. For example, here you can observe, here is an element called book. In this, I am nesting other elements, that is title and author. If you observe here, this is the tag, opening tag of the element book, and here is the closing tag of the element book. Within that element, book element, I am giving two other elements, that is title. Here, the title is Introduction to XML and it is closed here. Author name is John Doe and the author tag is also closed. So, this is how easily a human can understand that here this tag is about the book, which consists of a title and author. Okay. So this way XML makes our work much more easier. Not only giving the elements, here we can give the attributes also. Attributes, as we know, this will be defining the properties of the elements. Attributes that provide additional information regarding the element, okay, which will be specified within the opening tag, right? We know the XML here, student is an element, ID is the property which is defining the student. The student ID is 123, name is Alice, and age is 20. Here I am closing this element. So here the properties or the attributes of the student element are being defined within the opening opening tag. Okay, so this is the way how we are doing. And root element, if you see, root element is every XML document has a single root element that contains all other elements, right? So here syntax rules, coming to the syntax rules, it is case sensitive. If you see a book with B capital and book with all small letters, these two elements are treated to be different elements. Okay, so it is case sensitive and proper nesting is must. Okay, yeah, for every opening tag there should be a corresponding closing tag, and there should not be any overlapping in that. Quotation marks, we are going to make use of quotation marks to include the attribute values, as if how we have given student id equals to, within the double quotes we have given 123. The value of the id, the value of the attribute should be given in the quotation marks. It might be single or double quotation marks. And reserved characters, that which we should not make use of, like just like that. Why? Because these are fixed. Okay, these are already this the meant for some purpose that is understood by computer. Okay, so there should not be overlapping of these characters. So if you see this greater than and less than symbols and ampersand symbol must be escaped from using. Okay, for example, if at all if you have to make use of greater than or less than, you can make use of, you can use ampersand LT, which means less than symbol. Ampersand GT means greater than symbol. Okay, so in this way we can make use of those. So we should avoid using making use of these symbols. Okay, next is these characters. Sorry, next is well formedness. An XML document must be well formed, which means it should adhere to the rules of the XML syntax. That is proper nesting. There should be a single root element and the use of correct characters. These are the well formedness. So whatever we have discussed here, that is case sensitive. Okay, you should be careful with the case sensitive, and proper nesting should be there. Quotation marks should be used, and reserved characters must be escaped. And well formedness means structure should be proper well formed. That means it should have one root element, and the use of correct characters should be there. These are the well formedness of the XML document. So for declaration, it is XML declaration is again optional, like how we'll do in the HTML document doc type. Okay, so XML version and encoding will be used in the declaration. Like XML, see here, this symbol with the question mark means this is not the not related to the data. Okay, so which will be defining about the version and encoding. And comments in the XML could be given using this symbols. Okay, the comment should be included within this less than symbol, exclamatory mark, dash dash. Okay, so and this should be closed. Okay, these are the markers that has to be used for commenting. Okay, here is an example. You can see this is a comment. And C data section means it is a character data, which will be allowing you to include character data. And that data whatever we have included here, that will not be treated as a markup. Okay, so it has to as in here only how we have given, even here it will not be treated as a mark. Okay, so next is here C data section, which starts with less than symbol, exclamatory mark, and C data, whatever we have the closing. Okay, so here if you see an example description, the C data, this is some HTML like text. Okay, so we are not making use of other characters here. It means these two words should be in bold. Okay, so it will be treated as it will be not treated as a markup language. Okay, next is self closing tags. Sometimes there are tags, there will be no content to be represented in that. So for that we need to have a closing self closing tags, like image tag. As in HTML, it has a self closing tag, image source self closed. Okay, and validity and DTD or schema, this is optional again. So here if you see, well formedness is the basic requirement what we want to have for XML documents, the to validate against DTDs or schemas. Okay, well formedness, as we know, proper structure should be formed where one root element should be there and the elements other elements should be nested within the elements. So these are the structure should be followed, case sensitivity has to be followed. Okay, that is only the document type definitions or the XML schemas we will be seeing in detail in the next topic. Okay, and XML document structure. Okay, so document structure means again we are talking about the same thing, that it should have one root element. We know no, XML document consists of elements, attributes and data organized within a tree like structure, right? Or XML document will be creating its elements in a tree like structure, nesting, right? So here is an overview of a basic structure of an XML document. So declaration, we know we have seen this. So declaration will be consisting of version and encoding, okay, which is enclosed between this symbols question mark. Okay, and root element is, see, every valid XML document must have a single root element and encloses all other elements, right? This is the structure, well formedness of the XML document. This root element will be the starting point of the document. If you see here is an example, library is the root element and all other elements coming will be coming within this library root element. Okay, so the all the other elements should come between the opening and closing tag of the root element, and the elements are the building blocks of an XML document and are enclosed within opening and closing tags. They will be containing other elements or data. Okay, elements may have, again they can have attributes such as ID, name, okay, age, other properties that which describes the element. Okay, you can provide an additional information about the element. If you see here is an one more example. Here this is the book is the root element. Again I am giving the properties, that is attributes added to this book element, that is genre is novel. Okay, values, we know values should be enclosed in either in single quotes or double quotations. Okay, and within the root element I am given other elements, that is title, author, published. Okay, this way our XML document will be containing the elements. Attributes, we know that has to be specified within the opening tag, and the value should be enclosed in quotes. And text data, elements may contain, sometimes they may contain text data, so which is actual content associated with the element. So it should not be it should not include any reserved. We should be careful that it should not be including any reserved characters. We know these three characters are reserved. Okay, unless properly escaped you cannot make use of these characters. Okay, you can make like description, this is an sample XML document. Okay, so you can use like this. And comments, we know comments in XML could be used using these two characters. Okay, yes, then exclamatory mark dash dash and should end with dash dash and greater than symbol. Okay, this is a comment. And processing instructions, when these processing instructions are special directives for applications that process the XML document, which will be ensuring that whatever will be enclosed in between less than symbol question mark and ends with question mark and greater than symbol, it the computer treats it to be as a processing instructions. Okay, they are not part of the data in the document, those are the instructions given to the computer that how it has to be treated. Okay, and XML, see, this is the processing directive instruction. Okay, target instruction data. And C data sections are this is also an optional element. Okay, C data, so as we are already know, that is inclusion of character the data should not be treated as markup. So whichever data we are providing in C data, that should not be that it should not treat it as a markup language. Okay, so and white spaces here here XML tolerates white spaces like spaces, tabs, line breaks between the elements, but it may be leading to trailing. Like when you are using within the element data, when you are using these, then unless and until you are specifying properly, it cannot be treating it as a white space. Okay, so this is about our XML first and second topic in the third unit. Thank you all. Keep learning.